Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex with the Macedonians. Um, putting out a little bit of a different content or different type of content than I usually put out on the channel. But this is something I've been getting into lately with Fivem and stuff, making custom faces and tattoos. And I thought, after seeing a couple of the tutorials that people put out there, it's kind of like they want to teach you, but they kind of gatekeep at the same time and they rush through it and stuff. So today I kind of wanted to go through, like a little simple, slowed down tutorial. Now, keep in mind I ain't, like an expert at this. I pretty much just been a couple days at it, trying to get the hang of it, trying to, you know, make them look good, figure out all the tips and tricks and stuff. So, enough of the chit chat. You know, uh, let's get right into it. One thing I do want to let everybody know is that in order to be able to work with the 3D models, you got to make sure you have the version 22.2 of Photoshop, because I believe any version after that, you cannot work with 3D models in Photoshop, as they no longer support it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah, that's what I seen when I tried to work with it on any version past that. But yeah, I got my face loaded up. I got the texture on it. This is the smooth face textures. I I believe I found it online from somebody. I just downloaded it, but I do have it, and I can have it in my Discord. I'll leave a link to my Discord so that people can add me afterwards, and if they got any questions or anything like that. Um, but yeah, so this is the face texture and 3D model. Um, Basically, what you need to do is once you have everything loaded up, um, you can just go ahead and find you a face on Pinterest. You can go on Pinterest. You can put, you know, depending on what you're doing, male or female. You can put face template. You can put face portrait. Usually, what I put is, let's say I'm doing a man. I go and I put, male face portrait. Let me see if I can put it up here so you guys can see. So this is the one that I'm gonna try to be using today. I got a couple other ones, but uh, I'm gonna try to use this one because I haven't really done many white faces. But here, I'll just show you kind of what to search up. So you go in here and you put in, I don't know, face, male face portrait. It's early in the morning, so I can't really. And then you just kind of want to find faces, that are straight on. This one's actually better than the one that I picked, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can use this one. Um, but yeah, you kind of want to find a face that's pretty straightforward, looking straight at the camera. The hair like this doesn't really matter. You just gotta make sure that it has no hair, falling into the face itself. So like this, even though that one's not really influencing, but like this one right here, you see, like the hair falls onto the face. You gotta make sure. See the head on this one is tilted. This one's looking to the side. Some of these faces, like, let me see here. There's some that just have bad lighting, or it's just not. I don't know. It's lit up weird, and it doesn't work because then your face is kind of like lit up weird when you make it. Um, but yeah, whatever. Enough of that. You just go on Pinterest, search up male face portrait, female face portrait. Face template is what I've seen a lot of people use as well, and um, you just once you have that, you get your face, you grab it, you drag and drop onto there on top of your OBJ 3D model, and then you kind of want to lower the opacity, not fully. You want to lower the opacity to where you can see both. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to match it up as much as possible. What everybody usually does is the eyes, because then everything else you can tweak it. So we kind of want to match the eyes. Now, one thing that I did learn on my own is when you try to match up the eyes, you want to match up the eyelids. Don't worry about the eye itself, like the pupil and the whites and stuff like that. You want to make sure you try to match up the eyelids to the eyelids of the actual model itself, because when you merge this down, when you basically put the texture onto the face, all this inside is gonna get deleted, and what you're gonna get is the model's um what do you call it, eyes. So these eyes are getting deleted. If you don't match it up correctly, then you're gonna get like some white borders and stuff like that, which can be fixed. You know, it's not a big deal. You can fix it afterwards, but you know, it saves you that trouble. So you kind of want to match up those eyelids the best you can, and then once that's done, you can move on to the next step. Now, like I said, you just match it up the best you can. You don't have to match up 100% because there's a following step that we're going to do in order to match it up correctly. So once you match it up, you know, you get as close as you can to the model behind it, the 3D model. You want to come up here to filter, liquify, and then in liquify, we're going to go ahead, scroll down, and we're going to see right here where it shows backdrop. We're going to put mode behind. The opacity, we play with it, you know, just to where, you know, all faces are different. But then where you see all layers, we're going to go and find layer 1, and you'll see that it puts the picture behind the actual 3D model, or vice versa, but whatever. It allows you to see what you're doing. So then in this part of the video, in this part of the process, I'm sorry, is where we do all the matching up. So you see like the nose, this guy's nose actually needs to be bigger. As you'll notice when you first start doing this, there's certain, in the liquify, the slider only goes, you know, to a certain limit, and that can be increased by doing liquify again. So you'll see. Right now we're going to try to match these lips up a little bit. So with the mouth, the border of the lips, you really doesn't matter because that's gonna cover the lips of the 3D model itself. What you want to match up is this mouth line, because if you don't match up the mouth line, what's gonna happen is when you merge down the lips itself, you're gonna get like this weird line above the lips or on the lips when you try to. So I'll reference it and show you better and explain it a little bit better once I merge it down, because it's hard to kind of say. So right here, what we need to do is actually let me link the eyes, because we want the eyes be the same size, everything. So you gotta, you know, make the eyes big. That's something that you can't kind of avoid, which doesn't really matter because, like I said, what you're matching up is the eyelids, is the skin. You're not matching up the eyeballs. Let me try to match this up as best as I can right here. Now, if you can't get it to match up correctly the first time, once you do it, then you can go back. Don't hit this liquify up here because it'll just apply what you just did all over again. You want to go to the liquify at the bottom. You go back on it. You select all your. I was trying to see if I could do it without linking all of these, but what this does is it basically keeps everything together. So whatever changes you make to the eyes, it'll make it so whatever you do to one, it'll do to the other, and it'll keep everything together and linked. So then you come back and you do the same process again. So let's say like how we talked about the nose needed to be bigger. So now we can make it bigger. We could actually do another liquify once again. That'll help us get it to the size that we need it to be. And like I said, a lot of these things you can just, you know, you can clean up if it, you know, if it doesn't work correctly, if it doesn't come out correctly. So that's done. I know the eyes look a little weird, but you know, it's pretty much what every model that you make, the eyes are gonna look a little bit exaggerated. So then we're gonna come and do liquify once more, because I'm gonna try to get this nose, you know, to where it needs to be. Because the problem is that if you don't, then you get like these weird lines. You know, like you get these weird. So like the nose will end here, the actual model's nose, and then your texture nose will end up top or past the nose. So you want to try to get the nose, to go with the actual models, the 3D models nose. All right. So once we have that, that's all down. We come back right here to our layers. We're gonna right click on our texture layer, right? So our image layer, and we're gonna hit right click, merge down, and then you get this, right? Now this is a little rough, some faces will come out a little rougher than the other. Sometimes it's the lighting of the what do you call it? See, like the lighting on this is extremely bright. Sometimes it's just the lighting of the scene itself. It's not gonna dictate how your model actually comes out. It's just the lighting of the scene in Photoshop that'll make it look really bright and it'll make it look weird. So um, the lighting is fixed. You would just do that by, let me see, let me select it. You select your layer, and then you would go. So right here I have my lighting different. Yours is going to say something else. It'll say like infinite light or something like that. You will click on that infinite light, and it'll show you right here. It'll say like custom preset or something. You will click on that and put 3D light, and it'll give you all these lights. It'll give you the front, back, left, right, and you can edit those. I usually just edit the front, kind of don't like, I mean, it was set to 158, so it makes it, so I just set it down to 99, 100, whatever it is, and it'll fix everything. But once you got the texture merged down, you will come down here to your texture layer, which would say head diff, whatever you have, but it'll be right under base color. So you would double click on that. If you get this prompt, just hit OK. Then you come and you'll see this is your texture layer, correct? Now you'll see that it's all weird, and all these things is what's all right. So all these things that you see, it's all these weird stuff that you see on the model itself. You'll see all those weird things, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up all these edges, right? So let me save this one more time because there's a glitch, right? So if you hit Control Save by accident, like you want to apply the texture for any changes that you made, if you do it on this screen, it'll bug up the texture file and you have to like exit out and redo it. So we're back in here, right? The first thing I like to do is I like to go back to my textures, like my face textures, and I like to put the same one that we used. I like to put it over, right? Now what a lot of people do is they'll just erase, and if you erase, you can't bring back what you erased. So what you do is you come here to mask file, right? Mask option, and on that top layer that you put on over your head, right? Your head texture, you put in that other basic original head texture. You want to add a mask file to that one. So then you come with your brush tool, which will be B on your keyboard, right? And you can hold left alt and right click to set the hardness and the size. You would just drag your mouse. You can play with it and you'll figure it out pretty quickly. So you set the hardness. I usually set it to 0, and then I just make it kind of big, medium sized. So once you have that, you got to make sure if your mask is white, which should automatically be white, you want to make sure that your color here is black so that you can erase. But I'll show you the neat trick of using a mask versus erasing. So you will come here and you will lower your opacity, right, to kind of preview your face. But before that, let me just show you the difference between erasing. So if you erase, you're going to erase, right? You can't bring that back. There's no way that you could bring what you just erased back. So let's Control Z. If we do that on the mask with the brush tool, not the eraser tool, the brush tool on the mask, you can erase. Here, let me bring my flow up. This dictates how much strength your brush has. So you come here, you erase, right? Oh no, I messed up. I erased more than I needed to. Now you don't have to delete this layer and redo it all again. You would just switch your colors here in the brush, And whatever you want to bring back, you just brush over it on the mask layer, on the mask setting. So that's why I don't like to erase. I like to use mask for everything because a mask you can always bring it back. So let's go back to our black. Let's bring the opacity down. We're gonna come here and we're gonna just subtly bring our face in. Then we bring the opacity back up, and you'll see that you still got some hard edges. And right here is where I said you come back with the brush tool. Well, firstly, let's go ahead and do the smudge tool on the layer with the actual face on it. We're going to use our smudge tool. You go to the three little dots. You go to the smudge tool. And we're going to kind of stretch out this face a little bit so we can try to blend that face to the bottom, to the actual 3D model's texture, skin texture, right? Now there's a tutorial, you know, when you do yours, you could go more into detail. If the face, you know, doesn't work, you this part I'm gonna erase it. The face doesn't really work because, you know, I don't know, like it was too skinny or it just didn't blend correctly. You can either restart it and just try to, you know, widen the face out a little bit more, or, you know, find another face. You know, not every face is gonna work. So once we have that smudged out a bit, you see it kind of blended it in a little bit more. We're gonna go back with our brush tool, you know, B as in boy on your keyboard. Go back to your mask layer, and then we're going to switch to our white color over here. Bring the flow down a little bit, and we're gonna kind of erase these edges. You know, bring the flow down a little bit more, so it's like a subtle blend. This is how I do my face. Everybody does it different, but you do like a subtle erase or a subtle brush. Now, if you want to bring some of the face over here, you can. You know, if you erase too much and then you want to just switch your colors, and you would just click away. Now it's better when you have a low flow. That sounded weird, but you have a low flow for your brush, and then you just kind of go around the face and it kind of blends in. And we're gonna fix this stuff on the nose too. But then you see here, all those weird textures and stuff like that, they went away. Right? Now to blend in the face a little bit more, what I like to do is in between the two layers, I will come down here and I'll put in a hue and saturation. If you have a lot of, like, any more layers under that, you want to make sure you do a clipping mask so it only alters this layer. You do not want to alter your above layer, because your above layer is what's going to match the skin tone of the bodies in the game, in the city. Because if you alter that, which is a mistake that I did in the beginning, then your whole neck and everything, your whole face will match, but it will not match the body. Okay, so you want to make sure you do it to the bottom layer, not the top layer. All right, so you put it in between. You can put, you know, to make sure that you're only editing the face texture, you put it on the on the on the face texture layer, right? And then what I do is, let's say I gotta bring down the saturation, or I gotta put it up, you know, to kind of blend the face in a little bit. I'll bring the brightness up, or the lightness up a little bit. You know, just kind of, you play with it just to blend that face in. Now, a lot of faces are not gonna blend in 100%, but you kind of get a better blend. Now, there's other processes that you can do to kind of blend the face in a little bit more, and it's processes before you do all the merging of the face and stuff like that. I can, you know, depending on how the video does, I can offer a course and kind of go into detail with it and stuff like that. But let's just jump in here real quick and try to fix this this nose section. So what I like to do with the nose is I'll do a spot healing brush again on the texture layer with the face. I'll just come here and I'll kind of dab away on those weird, edges that are torn and stuff. Now this one it doesn't want to fucking fix it. I believe it works with the brush. All right, so it's being weird. So if that happens, what you want to do is you want to come here to your clone stamp tool. It looks like a freaking stamp tool, and you would right click over an area that you want to copy. Right. So you not right click. You would hold left alt, and you would left click, and then you come down here. What it does is it pulls the texture from that area towards yours. Now it's not gonna match up 100%, but it'll look a little bit better. Then what I do is, if this wants to work again, I come here, I cover these nostrils up, the one from the face itself. I don't know why it doesn't want to fucking work on that one. All right, so we're gonna go back to the clone stamp tool. All right, we're gonna go back to the clone stamp tool, and then what we're gonna do is just slowly, match up what we have. All right, whatever. This is, I would go more into detail into it and make it look right, but this just for tutorial purposes. Um, what I like to do is, so if it helps you, you can go in and if you want to use the nostrils from the face, you can. But what I like to do is I like to bring up the ones from the actual model itself. So I'll just use those nostrils. As you can see from far away, it doesn't even look that bad. All right. So then you would come back to your. Now let me fix that part. You would double check over there. As you can see, you could go back into it and kind of mess with it to like this area right here, unnecessarily big. It has that section right there. I gotta figure out where that's at. All right, so this is an issue due to the nose of the model and the nose of the character of the face that we actually put inside. So it seems that the dude just had a weird nose and it wasn't even. So what it's doing is that, so you can see, if you erase it, it'll kind of fix it. You blend in the face to the actual nose of the model, um, and it'll fix it. You just blend in the two to kind of get rid of those hard edges and stuff like that. So that is something that will happen with like the nose or the eyes or the lips, and when you're making your face, you're gonna go into detail into it, and you're gonna take your time to make sure that all these edges and everything are matching up, so you don't get those mistakes. But this is our face. Um, Once you come here and you have, let's say you're happy with, the blending of it, um, then you can move on to, let's say you want to add a different type of eyes. So I also have all the eye models, all eye textures. What you would do is you would select one of your eyes. Sorry, let's say you want to give them, I don't know, green eyes. In reality, all you need is a freaking pupil, bro. Right? We would bring it down here, and we would just match it up to the one from the original texture. And once you do that, then you would come here and you see that it changes the eyes. That's how you make those changes. If you want tattoos, you can add tattoos. Let's say, I got some tattoos here. Just I'm gonna throw one on that's just something random. Let's say you want, I don't know, say we want to do these, right? So as you see, it has the white background. That doesn't matter. You would just come down here, and what I do is I put on multiply, right? And you would just kind of position it where you want it. Um, Anything past this point, right? You're not gonna be able to see it. So if you really want something specific, you gotta play with it, with the size and stuff like that. Again, for like the tattoo, let's say, because you're gonna be messing with it, you put on a mask, go into your brush tool, and make sure you got your mask selected. You start erasing, and you take it up to where you want. Then you would go back to your model, and you can see your tattoos there. Let's say you want more of this section to come up, just go back into your tattoo. You would switch your colors, go back into your mask, and you add on whatever you want. And you see, there you go. Now you got it back. If you erase, then you would have to erase this whole freaking tattoo again and paste it in and then do that. So make sure you always do a mask whenever you're doing any changes or anything like that. Now, that's for a tattoo. For face tattoos, is the same thing. You would find a face tattoo, you would paste it in the face. The face kind of distorts it, so you would kind of have to play with the sizing of it, and the orientation so that you can get it straight away, squared away. Um, the same goes for, let's say we wanted some hair. Um, I got hair for male. Um, say we wanted some waves. There's some textures out there that you can get. There's actually some free ones you could just find on GTA 5 mods. Um, and you can just save them, and it'll it works. All this stuff is made to work together. So um, you would just drag and drop your texture in there, your hair texture, and then once it's dragged, there you go. You got your hair on your model. Besides that, really, for females, you can go more into depth. For females, there's you can add lip gloss, you can add that nose bridge shine, you can add lashes. Um, as far as teeth, I haven't really messed with teeth. Um, but I know that you can do stuff to it too. For eyeballs, there's eyeballs like the pupils. There's pupils that you can add designs to it. Hearts with pupils and stuff like that. Here, let me show you. I believe this one. You can have some really crazy looking ones too. You can go crazy with your model. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Um, then you could take a picture of this or whatever. But what's important is this texture, right? I'm just deleting the bunch of eyes that I had. Um, so what's important is this texture. Okay, you're done with the texture. Blah blah. You gotta smooth away the best you wanted, the most you wanted it, the best you could. Uh, you got everything added that you wanted. So then you would just go ahead and uh, save it. For purposes, I'm just saving it here on my desktop. You would just save it as a PNG. You gotta make sure you save it as a PNG. Test face. All right, and you would save it as a PNG. You would come to your OpenIV. And then for this one, we use the white skin texture, right? So then we have um the white skin texture. Wait. So we have white. This one's already named to be Fivem ready. So you would come in here, make sure. Actually, hold on. Come in here and you put edit mode. You go into your white face, replace it. And where did I save it? Desktop. You find where you saved your face. Make sure again that it's a PNG. You would replace it, save it, and then you would just drag this file out into whatever folder or whatever, you know, resource that you're putting your face into. And once you have a name, mp underscore m underscore free mode underscore 01 with the little up arrow, um you'll be good to go. It's Fivem ready. Now what you do have to do, and you have to keep in mind, you can't just throw this on in any number. You gotta throw this on into a matching um race slot. So you can't just throw this into, the 029 Pakistan or 024 black slot. You gotta throw it into one of the white slots, all right? Or else it's not gonna work. But if you're already doing this, I'm sure you know. But once you have that saved, then you're good to go. You can close out all of this and then just put that file, that OpenIV file that you just pulled out, into your resource, into your skins and your EUP or your clothing pack or whatever, and it'll replace whatever you have in there, and then there you go. You have your face. And then to make anything another face, you would just repeat the same process and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. You could also, I'm gonna put my personal Discord in the description so you guys can add me. And then I can, if anything, I can add, send invites to my Discord server. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out. I got the 3D models. If anybody needs the 3D models, I have them. I'll have them for sale. The smooth textures. I'm not gonna rip nobody off. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I'll help y'all out. So anything that I got that I can supply you guys with, I got y'all. Depending, like I said, how this video does, I'll do a course and kind of get people started and not gatekeep, pretty much. But yeah, this has been Alex with the Macedonians. Like I said, a little bit different content than I put on my channel, but I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all be easy and be safe.